Hello and welcome to this week one matchup of the After Hours Gaming League. I am your caster for today, Tasty Bacon, and we are featuring the matchup between Amazon Ganking Services and the Google Chromecaster minions. It is going to be each team is playing for, of course, charity. The Amazon Ganking Services playing for Child's Play. Google Chromecaster minions are supporting the Against Malaria charity. We are already into the picks and ban phase, and the bans have now come out. It is Graves, Rek'Sai, and Fizz being taken away by the blue side, and Morgana, Gnar, and Syndra here for the red team. And of course, it is on the blue side will be Amazon Ganking Services with Google Chromecaster minions playing on the red team. As the first picks are coming through, we do see it is going to be Thresh as that first pick, very utility heavy support. Whereas on the red side, they opt to get that jungler and AD carry taken care of first. Vi, an extremely strong jungler in the current meta, so not too much of a surprise there. Jinx being picked up, or at least hovered here for the blue team. See if they do decide to stick with it. And it will be, in fact, that Jinx and Maokai both being locked in for Amazon. Maokai, very strong top laner, but can also jungle. As I'm going to assume that we're going to see some trades coming through, as you don't usually see Thresh being one to come out of the jungle, but Maokai can do either that top or jungle role, depending on what else they pick and where they want to put him. So we'll have to see what they do decide to do, as it is then going to be Blitzcrank being the pickup on Google Chromecaster minions. A little almost unconventional pick. I mean, it's not like you'd never see Blitzcrank, but it's one you really have to feel comfortable with your support to be able to pick him up and just run with him in a match like this. As then Darius, actually the top lane being hovered, one of my personal favorite top laners to play. He's just so strong, has such a strong early game presence that can just get him snowballing into that mid to late game and just turn him into a absolute monster during team fights. We do see now Hecarim being hovered for one of the final two picks here for Amazon. I like the Hecarim pick. I've seen Hecarim a little bit making a small resurgence recently, which I love Hecarim. He's such a fun champion, but he unfortunately really doesn't get played a whole lot. He's kind of underrated a little bit in my opinion, as he can have a big impact on a game. He has some of that CC, of course all the move speed that he's really known for, and being able to put out a lot of damage. Very likely going to be, oh, never mind. I thought it would very likely be the jungle pick, but it does look like they're going to instead go with Aurelia and Orianna. So that's going to be interesting to see. And we are very likely going to be seeing this Maokai coming out of the jungle, with Aurelia obviously taking up role in that top lane and Orianna being their mid laner. And then it looks like Google may be wanting to take Karthus here as their final pick. I'll have to take a couple seconds and see if that does indeed become their final pickup here. It would definitely kind of complement their team. They have a sort of an all-in team fighting team right now, between having Blitzcrank being able to initiate, or Vi being able to initiate, and then you have all the AoE damage coming out from Vi, Blitzcrank. Even Caitlyn has a little bit of AoE with the Piltover Peacemaker. Of course, Darius having his Qs, being able to just go all in onto a team fight. But on the same token, Amazon has a very similar type of thing going on, where they are not afraid of a full-on team fight. Between, especially any team that has Maokai, just isn't afraid of an all-in 5-on-5 because of his ultimate just being so strong in those situations. So now that we do know what the two teams will be, we'll be waiting just a few moments, getting into that 3-minute delay, and then getting ourselves into the action here between, once again, Amazon Ganking Services and the Google Chromecaster minions. It's probably two of my favorite names in the After Hours Gaming League. I was looking through a list of names, and there's some really good ones out there too. I love that some of these teams have just come up with these beautiful pun names. Um, I know Boeing has a couple of good names. They have the first class and business class for their two teams. There's a couple other really good Amazon names, and I think all of the Google team names were puns. Like there's AdWards and Ward Search. Amazon, sorry, has the Amazon Bonies. Um, and So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to casting not only this game but other future games with After Hours Gaming League. We will be getting into the matchup in just a couple of minutes. All right, we are now getting into the loading screen, which means it's time for the first actual matchup between these two teams. The Skin Wars. We see Goalkeeper Maokai, Mafia Jinx, Championship Thresh, and Nightblade Aurelia, and a Bladecraft Oriana. Amazon Ganking Services not holding anything back, coming out with all 5 members rocking a skin onto their favorite champions. And then as we take a look onto Google Chromecaster minions, a little bit lacking. We only see 4 of their champions loaded in so far, but none of them having a skin. So maybe there's the Dunk Master Darius. Okay, at least they have one of the best skins in the game as the only skin on their team. But it is 5-1. We'll have to see. You know, everybody knows skins get wins. We'll have to see. Will that be a difference? Will the the mind games start with the skin matchup there, going in favor of Amazon Ganking Services. All right, we are now in game here. This is the week 1 matchup of After Hours Gaming League, the match between the Amazon Ganking Services and the Google Chromecaster minions. Amazon taking up residence on the blue side of the rift, while the Google Chromecaster minions are playing on the red team. There is a disconnect issue right off the bat here, so hopefully that will be getting sorted out soon enough. We'll take the moment to organize the champions here on the bottom of your screen. So now the thing that I think is going to be really important in this game is the fact that both junglers have really strong gank potential. Both of them have a lot of CC coming out of that jungle between, Maokai having the Twisted Advance and Vi with the Vault Breaker, and of course once she hits level 6, also having Assault and Battery. It's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of focus on the play of the two junglers here. We'll have to see which one can really be more effective in their early ganks, or if they even go for the early ganks, or if both of them decide to just kind of farm up a little bit and let the lanes kind of play out how they play out. It'll be interesting to see what the two teams decide to do. It will definitely be a strategy difference between the two, as we do see the reconnect coming back in. So thankfully this pause should not take too long, and it hopefully will not affect the matchup, as of course nobody wants to see that, especially when you're playing for charity, as these two teams are. Google Chromecaster minions playing for the Against Malaria Foundation, while Amazon Ganking Services is playing to support Child's Play. As we do see them both getting out into the lanes, we have, looks like Google is going to be making a slightly aggressive play here. They're moving in very quickly, but they will be spotted out by that ward that Jinx had put down. So Amazon is going to be aware of the fact that all 5 members of Google are down there. And very quick response from Amazon to just say, all right, we're just going to give them that red if they want to go for it, and we're just going to go start up at their red buff instead, as Maokai is now sitting up by that buff. Lots of wards getting thrown down here. All those trinkets getting used. The only one not being used is actually the Blitzcrank. They're looking around. They're trying to find them, but there's nobody there for them to find. I like the decision by Amazon, just saying, hey, all right, you're gonna try and invade us. Well, we saw you coming, so we're just getting out of there, and we're gonna have a safe start up in your half of the jungle instead. Let's see what exactly does end up happening from this as a result. Darius, actually on his way up top, has the opportunity to check and see that they are in fact at his red buff. Aurelia teleporting up to that top lane in order to get there quickly, as Blitzcrank pulls the red buff over for his team. So it's going to be both teams starting off at the enemy red buff. So nothing is actually going to come from all that level 1 pushing and, kind of positioning around, other than a straight red buff start for both junglers. Although Maokai did, of course, finish his significantly faster than Vi, because he didn't have to go chase it around. Blitzcrank almost landing a hook there onto Thresh. That would have been an early start to the action in this bottom lane. Oh, and we do actually have another pause coming out.
A summoner has disconnected.
Looks like Morik the Mad still having a couple of minor issues. Fortunately, with the problem with early pauses, not a whole lot to talk about. Really, nothing has happened so far, other than again that
A summoner has
kind of
reconnected.
unconventional jungle start, as Maokai is now back over at his Gromp camp, while Vi is still clearing out that red. So going to be just a touch behind. She has obviously already gotten the two minions. She's just finishing off the third one, so she will be moving on from there very quickly. But until then, Maokai does have that slight lead. We'll have to see if he can make anything of it as we are getting back into the action. This top lane is going to be very exciting to watch because both Darius and Aurelia are kind of known as those lane bullies. And so let's see which one is able to shove the other one out of lane here. I feel like Darius does have the advantage. And speaking of those early ganks, here's Vi landing a Vault Breaker and then a nice death sentence landing onto Caitlyn. But Thresh is going to be taking a lot of punishment for that, getting dropped below about 200 health. But he does manage to stay alive, and that's what's really important. Although they're going to have to be extremely careful now, the Jinx and Thresh duo here. If another Blitzcrank hook pulls in Thresh, that could spell first blood for Google here in the bottom lane. Looks like Blitzcrank definitely knows that. He's looking to get one, almost pulling in Jinx. Nicely dodged away. Able to avoid that skill shot, but Caitlyn isn't able to avoid that one as she gets hit by the death sentence. The exhaust summoner spell's going down. The ignite was used as well, and it is going to be Jinx picking up the first blood. So it looked like it might have been Thresh that was going to go down first, but instead Amazon Ganking Services picking up the first blood here just under 4 minutes into the game. And of course, getting those kills onto your AD carry is always a good thing. And now here comes Maokai to gank this top lane. Darius is running away, but he's going to get caught up by that twisted advance and knocked backwards. He's doing what he can, but it's not going to be enough. And it looks like they're trying to give the kill over to Aurelia, but she doesn't have the move speed. There she goes. Finally gets the Blade Surge off and picks herself up a kill. 2-0 in favor of Amazon. While this middle lane is farming pretty evenly, both of them just over 20 CS. No real issues to be had in that middle lane as of yet, but of course with both very heavily aggressive junglers and heavy CC focused junglers, that this farm lane in the mid could be changing very quickly at a moment's notice. Really, either jungler could just decide, you know what, I feel like jumping in there, let's do this. And now Aurelia actually shoving Darius back, doing a lot of good damage to him. She started with that crystalline flask because she's going to be able to stay in this top lane for a long time, and that's going to be a big advantage for her, especially after picking up that kill. When she does finally go back, she's going to have more gold, as Darius doing what he can, but unfortunately just losing out on those trades right now. Heading on over to the bottom lane, Blitzcrank and Thresh, the battle of the hooks and grabs. I have to see is Thresh taking a couple shots, but there's the Maokai when Thresh landing. Oh, nice, that sends it onto a minion in order to try and get himself into range for the flay. It was a really nice play, didn't quite work out in his favor, but that was really close. If that flay had landed, it would have been a good chunk of damage getting put onto that duo lane of Google. Instead, they will just drink themselves some potions. Caitlyn actually, after giving up that first blood, went back and got a longsword, whereas Jinx ended up getting a Vamp Scepter and boots on her first back. So the item advantage is slightly in favor of Jinx and Thresh, as they are, again, also a little bit ahead on CS, about 10 or so for the lead at the moment. Darius, however, and this top lane has been able to come back really well. He was a little bit behind. Love to see how the trades pan out, but he has gotten himself back in the lead in terms of the CS, which you expect from a Darius. He's able to farm extremely well with his abilities. And of course that bleed damage makes killing the minions all the more easier. Meanwhile, it looks like Maokai is actually going to find the Darius, who is in the middle of trying to roam down towards this mid lane. But Maokai needs to be careful as Vi is coming over to support her top laner as well. And nothing's going to end up coming from that. Take a look here. In this matchup, we do see right now Aurelia actually pulling ahead on the lead in terms of CS because of Darius leaving the lane, and now she's getting a lot of good damage down. Those ultimates just hitting every single one, dropping Darius so low. Not quite able to finish off the kill though, but it will send him recalling back to base and give Aurelia some alone time in this top lane, which could get scary if she's able to get this, take this lead and really build upon it with that Sheen already in her inventory. She can start doing a lot of work, pushes those minions into the tower, and is now trying to invade Vi in her own jungle. She's going to find her right after taking the red buff, forcing Vi to flash away. Meanwhile, Orianna doing a lot of good damage to Karthus as well, but unfortunately for Karthus, he thought he was going to be able to get away, but Aurelia just collapsed around onto him and picks her up. Actually gets a kill for Orianna. I thought it was Aurelia who had gotten the last hit on it, but it did go over to the mid laner, with Aurelia just picking up the assist. A lot of good work here so far by Amazon, and living up to their name there with Aurelia going out into that jungle to gank the Vi, and then technically ending up ganking the Karthus as well, even though that one was more just a matter of circumstance instead of an intentional gank. Blitzcrank possibly looking for another hook, but instead Aurelia constantly just wanting to fight Darius, saying, I feel I'm stronger than you and I'm going to prove it. Darius actually getting the better of that trade, but he is going to have to flash away as Maokai was coming into the lane looking to get another kill up there. But instead, we're going to see Vi coming out of this bottom lane. Death Sentence does land onto the Caitlyn, but it is going to keep them in there. The Assault and Battery going onto Jinx, but she is going to just barely get away, having about 300 health. A nice Blitzcrank grab onto the Thresh, using that ultimate, almost getting a kill. And then the ace in the hole, not quite able to pick up the kill, getting blocked out by Jinx, sacrificing herself for her support. Beautiful job there. Aurelia almost getting taken out. Here comes the Karthus ult. That is almost certainly going to be a kill. He actually gets two, picking up the kill onto Thresh. Nice job by Karthus, knowing when to fire off that ultimate and getting himself 2 kills. Oh, no, there's the Maokai in the top lane once again. Darius getting dropped really low, but Maokai just not quite able to finish it off, doing what he can, but it's not going to be enough. And of course, after that double kill ultimate, Red Team was able to pick up the Dragon, getting that extra AD and AP. There's the full-on gank from the Chromecaster minions onto this Orianna, putting all 4 people up there, but not able to get the kill. Orianna with the map awareness to say, be able to get out of harm's way and keep herself alive. Unfortunately, this tower is going to take a lot of damage because she most certainly cannot defend that. But with Aurelia and Maokai coming in to help, we're going to have ourselves a small little fight here. There's the Jinx rocket coming in for a double kill. And now Vi is extremely low. Aurelia's trying to chase it down onto her or Caitlyn, but does not want to go diving underneath the tower for those kills. A beautiful super mega death rocket from Jinx, getting her 2 more kills in that bottom lane, bringing her up to a 3-0-0 score. Right after picking up that BF sword, picking up 2 kills is going to get her much quicker into either that Bloodthirster or Infinity Edge, depending on what she wants to build. So really is going to teleport up into this top lane to defend that tower from Darius. He did get it down to about half health, but will not get it too much further than that. Meanwhile, though, in this bottom lane, Jinx doing work on this tower. She's going to get the first tower of the game for Amazon, and that is going to be almost a 3,000 gold lead for them at this point. But Darius finally able to maybe fight Aurelia a bit in this top lane. She has been in control up there for the most part, so he will be happy to be able to see himself winning a couple trades right for now. Some nice damage coming out from this, but Aurelia turning it around very quickly. And I thought, Darius was going to be able to take back charge in that top lane, but Aurelia just proving both myself and Darius wrong and just absolutely obliterating him. Meanwhile, Death Sentence doesn't quite land on Karthus, but the Command Shockwave did, and Jinx getting herself another kill. And that is going to be a very scary thing. A fed Jinx is just a terror to deal with. She can just absolutely melt through enemy health bars and, of course, the tower health bars. She does get dropped pretty low. Here comes the Blitzcrank. He is going to get the Thresh. That will be a kill going over for Vi, actually. But then the Super Mega Death Rocket makes Jinx unstoppable. 5-0-0. She's now currently sitting on 2,000 gold. That's a lot of money to have in your pocket for when she goes back to base. So, Google Chromecaster minions gonna have to do a bit of work to get themselves back in this game. Predominantly, doing work onto this Jinx is going to be the important part. They need to get that shutdown, otherwise Jinx will just be able to run rampant over this matchup. However, they have a great team to protect her. Oh, beautiful Blitzcrank grab onto the Maokai. That is going to be a kill picked up, but it goes over to Blitzcrank instead of getting it onto one of the more like Caitlyn, who is needs to be getting these kills. She's starting to fall way behind Jinx in terms of gold, as we do see. She 3,700 for Caitlyn, 5,400 for Jinx, and Aurelia continuing to just pressure out this Darius. He has been just effectively shut down and removed from this game by Aurelia at this point. He needs to get some help up there, but unfortunately Vi needs to be able to help out other lanes too, so it's really tough for her to kind of figure out where to go and help, because of the fact that she needs to be in so many places at once. And there's going to be a flash, but the Blade Surge from Aurelia will get her another kill in this top lane. Being able to just get solo kills onto Darius relieves so much pressure from the rest of her team and allows them to just kind of roam around and do what they want, which is what they've been doing. Of course, they missed out on that first dragon, but I think at this point they're perfectly fine with giving away a dragon because of the fact that they're so far ahead right now, being up about 4,000 gold here 15 minutes into the game. Aurelia getting herself a tower, the second tower of the game for them, and then immediately just turning her attention onto the Vi. There's no one around to help the Vi out, but that's not going to matter. Aurelia isn't going to chase that. She isn't necessarily aware of where everyone else is on the map, so deciding not to make the aggressive play, clears out the minions, gets herself a good chunk of gold off of them instead of going for that greedy kill. Oh, poor Caitlyn getting herself caught. There's nowhere she's going from that. The Flame Chompers stopping her in her tracks, and Jinx 6-0-0 now. Just an absolute terror on this field, as now Orianna is going to get the kill on Karthus, but Karthus will be able to return that onto her with that ultimate. So 1 for 1 there in the mid lane, but no other damage done from that matchup. Or now blue team, they're going to press their advantage as they pick up a dragon here to go along with their lead, tying up the dragon count at 1 apiece. And now they're just going to move in onto this Vi. Thresh throwing out the death sentence, Vi dodging it with just a simple sidestep, and is going to be able to get away. But poor Darius is not necessarily going to be able to, actually he will, as Aurelia was looking for the Vi instead, and Darius able to get himself to safety. this mid lane, Jinx just doing what she can to that tower. Blitzcrank showing up to stop it, but with Darius coming down, he's just going to show up and give another kill over to Orianna. This Darius has just been absolutely stumped in this top lane. He's so stunted. He really can't do anything right now other than kind of be on the back lines. He needs to try and get some farm somewhere, but it's just so difficult for him because everywhere he goes, Aurelia can just follow and completely continue this dominance. As now Aurelia going to pick up a kill onto Vi. Maokai getting dropped really low in this bottom portion of the map. But that's not going to matter. A beautiful death sentence landing onto the Karthus along with a shockwave. As he just gets bounced around and unable to do anything. The ace in the hole does get through to Maokai, but not quite being enough damage to kill him. And now Caitlyn using that 90 caliber net to get away from Jinx and avoid going down, giving another kill over to her. So far, bad guys definitely winning in terms of the Piltover's finest versus Jinx. Jinx being at 6-0-1, while Caitlyn is, unfortunately for her, just sitting at 0-2-3. A lot of that gold lead that Amazon does have built up is sitting on that Jinx and the Aurelia. Google Chromecaster minions. Gotta look deep into their playbook here, trying to figure out what they can do to get themselves caught back up in this game. They're starting to group a little bit more, just trying to get some towers here, trying to take out the mid tower, and really just, I feel like they need to just avoid trying to go for fights and just look to try and either catch people out of position, but unfortunately for them, that is easier said than done against this Amazon Ganking Services team, as that is 2 more kills going over to them, 1 on Orianna, 1 on Jinx with that super mega death rocket from the base almost. And now they are just going to instead push up on their own. Maokai just having no qualms about tanking up this tower as they get another kill onto Orianna. And now that the minions have arrived, they are just going to take down this inner tower in the mid lane. They might even consider pushing on further as they get that tower with ease, and really only Karthus here to defend it. Vi is showing up now, but it's a little bit late. That tower taking a lot of damage so far, and Vi is just going to be melted. Jinx picking up her 8th kill of the game, and still no deaths. There's a nice hook from Blitzcrank, getting them an easy kill onto the Maokai. But that's more of just a consolation prize at that point, because they just lost a lot from that last skirmish. Now with a slight lull in the action, take a look at some of the item builds coming out. Those mid laners, Orianna opting for the Morellonomicon, and then also having the Needlessly Large Rod and Blasting Wand, possibly looking to build that Rabadon's Death Cap as her second item. Whereas on the other side, it is Karthus with the Rod of Ages, and then a tier to start stacking up to go along with his Needlessly Large Rod. So we'll have to see if he can get that tier fully stacked. And, you know, obviously Karthus makes a huge impact once he gets that AP rolling. You can lose a fight, and then all of a sudden next thing you know, you've won it. But they are just going to obliterate Karthus first thing right off the bat, and just get out of range so that he can't really do a whole lot to them. That's just one less thing for Amazon to worry about here, as they are once again pushing up this mid lane, looking to get this inhibitor tower very likely. It could be tough for Amazon to push in here. They do have a lot of wave clear, but unfortunately for them, it is still, you know, pretty early in the game to be trying to think about diving underneath inhibitor towers. But it is not too early to be thinking about this dragon, as it is going to be up in about 30 seconds. So we see Amazon getting that Scuttle Crab for themselves. Of course, Google does have some nice ward coverage over by that Dragon Pit, so they are going to know as soon as Amazon goes for it. It'll just be a matter of if they can get over there themselves to defend it. as Darius actually using his teleport to get up into that top lane and prevent Aurelia from split pushing that inner tower down. Of course, that does now leave them with the teleport advantage, as Aurelia can just run down to this dragon, which is spawning live now, whereas Darius is still going to be up in that top lane. Aurelia actually looking possibly for a pick here, and she's going to find it onto the Karthus while her team takes the dragon, their second of the game. Uh-oh, Super Mega Death Rocket, will it land? It does not. Goes by the wayside, just missing that Karthus. Darius flashing away from the Maokai, but that sapling is going to get a slow on, and it's going to be a death sentence landing onto Darius. And once that death sentence lands, there's just nothing you can do against this team. They have way too much burst damage, and of course an incredibly fed Jinx, as they are now working onto this inhibitor. They got the tower already. There's Karthus getting dropped very low. Orianna picking up herself up the kill. But now here comes that Karthus ultimate. I don't think it'll get anybody. It does not, especially with that Maokai ultimate still running and reducing that damage. And this has just been really a very controlled game here from Amazon. They got an early lead and just have not let go. It's going to be very difficult for Google to come back at this point. Of course, this is only week 1 of the After Hours Gaming League, so we'll have plenty of time to work out any kinks in their strategy and try to improve upon this match. Looks like Google wants to try and collapse in onto this Orianna, but she's going to be pretty tough to catch, especially because she has that speed buff on herself. So she just scurries away to the safety of her tower, while Caitlyn just trying to defend from these super minions. And that's going to be something that Google Chromecaster minions are going to have to deal with for a while now, is keeping those super minions out of their base, while also trying to keep up with Amazon as they roam around the map and rotate between that top and bottom lane. Darius and Blitzcrank wisely deciding that they want nothing to do with the Jinx Thresh. Darius does have that Sunfire Cape built now, but that's going to be Aurelia and Orianna coming in to just destroy the Karthus. Aurelia not even caring, just standing right on Karthus's zone of damage there, and now there's going to be another fight here in the middle area. That is going to be some good CC coming out if they can just get a slow, which doesn't come through. However, that Super Mega Death Rocket does enough damage to force Google Chromecaster minions back into their fountain to heal up and defend again, as they are going to be rotating top. Amazon is to get this inner tower, which that's the call you have to make. It's you have nothing left to get in that mid lane other than the Nexus turrets, and there's no way you're even this far ahead. You're not going to go diving under 2 Nexus turrets for a fight. So you just rotate up to either top or bottom, get these inner towers, look for a fight here. There's a nice shockwave from Orianna. That is going to be 1 kill getting picked up. Aurelia getting herself a double kill onto that Darius. The Karthus is getting dropped very low, and that is a triple kill. Ace in the hole comes out, pops onto the Orianna, but not a kill. And oh my goodness, the Karthus ultimate coming so close to picking up a couple of kills, but just not quite getting it. Aurelia and Maokai diving underneath the tower to get a kill. The Guardian Angel not popped on Aurelia. I don't know, it was popped on Aurelia. And then Maokai actually does fall, with Caitlyn getting the kill, but that was 4 kills for 1 in favor of Amazon Ganking Services, and they're going to pick up not quite the inhibitor tower. I'm really surprised that Aurelia didn't finish that off and then just take the Thresh Lantern out, but not feeling safe enough to do so. However, this Jinx, easily one of the best tower destroyers in the game, doing what she does best, picking up that bottom inner tower and it is only the 2 inhibitor towers left as Jinx is just going to 1v1 this Karthus. He's actually getting a lot of really good damage onto her, but it's not quite going to be enough unless he has that ultimate up, which of course he does not. Karthus coming extremely close to 1v1ing that Jinx down, but just not quite having the damage to do so. Dragon is going to be up in a little under a minute here, so let's see if Amazon makes that a priority focus, or if they don't even bother and just try and push in, as it looks like Aurelia wants to say, let's not even bother, we're just going to go fight. A Shockwave getting a kill for Orianna as Aurelia continues to dive in, gets hit by that Assault and Battery from Vi, and is taking a lot of damage from the tower. That will be a kill going over. Darius finally picking up his first kill of the game. But unfortunately for them, it might just be a little bit too little too late, as that was 2 kills to 1 in favor of Amazon. However, Google Chrome can rest a little bit easier knowing that they have their inhibitor back in that middle lane, and they no longer have to deal with those super minions. Oh, and there's going to be that dragon, the third of the game for Amazon, as they are going to look for a fight here. A nice death sentence landing from Thresh, getting things started off. Maokai coming in with the twisted advance. That's going to be 2 kills for Amazon. They get the third there, legendary on Orianna. Maokai all alone by himself. He is so tanky. He will go down though, but not before the rest of his team gets a couple more kills. While Jinx trying to get the kill, gets the kill onto Darius, and that is an ace for Amazon Ganking Services, only losing 1 member in the process, and they have this minion wave with them here. They're going to push in this bottom lane, will easily get this inhibitor tower and inhibitor. See how much more they decide to try and take, as Blitzcrank is back up, lands that hook onto the Thresh, but it's going to be at what cost? As Jinx trying to chase down the Blitzcrank, he does get away. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. This might just kill the Thresh. Doesn't quite, but he does kill the Jinx, who went diving a little bit too deep. However, they did get the second inhibitor, so that's going to be 2 lanes of super minions crashing into their base for the next few minutes. All in all, a nice defensive effort here from Chromecaster minions, as they are just doing what they can to prevent Amazon Ganking Services from being able to win this game. We're at the 30-minute mark, so Baron is going to be an objective, as we do see Amazon Ganking Services hovering around that area a little bit, maybe just getting their vision down up there. Now Maokai could be looking for a fight. He is going to get slowed up by that wall from Karthus, but Aurelia is going to walk around it and continue walking in. Flashing over the wall is Karthus, and now it's going to be Maokai just kind of getting left on his own a little bit and getting pulled back in with that apprehend from Darius, but then taking the Thresh Express out to safety. Looks like Amazon Prime is gathering up by the Baron buff. They do take the Scuttle Crab and get to work on the Baron. There is no vision here from Google Chromecaster minions, so if they're going to check this, they're going to have to do it blind, as that Baron is going down extremely quickly, and that will be the Baron buff going over to Amazon. And now they might have a fight here. That's going to be Darius just getting melted off the map, unfortunately for him, just not having the best of games. You know, things like that do happen. It's tough as Darius. Once you fall behind, it's really tough for him to come back. He needs to get ahead early and just stay ahead, because once he falls behind, it's being a melee champion that relies so heavily on being able to bully others out of the lane. It's just such a difficult feat for him, and fortunately it just was something he was not able to do this game, as now Amazon pushing in with these Baron buffed up minions, going to get to work onto these Nexus towers. Google Chromecaster is doing what they can to try and stop it, but it's not going to be enough, as there is going to be one Nexus Tower going down along with a kill. The fight is happening. There's Maokai right in the middle with that ultimate ticking, and that is going to be a double kill for Jinx, picking up 2 more to go onto her title, and there is going to be the second Nexus Tower, and finally the Nexus being taken out by the Amazon Ganking Services, as they will pick up the win here in the week 1 of the After Hours Gaming League. So congratulations to the Amazon Ganking Services. It was a great game played by both teams, and look forward to seeing what the two of them can do as the weeks progress. Once again, congratulations to Amazon Ganking Services picking up the win here today. One last time, I've been Tasty Bacon. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Those of you watching from the two teams, I will be getting a VOD of this done as well, possibly with a second caster, as I have a local recording of the match, and I will be sending that out to the team captains if you would like a copy of it. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do later on in the league. Have a good day, everybody.